Every day, hundreds of thousands of energy workers commute to the office, flying low over some of the most unforgiving oceans on the planet. When you're making the final approach to an offshore platform, you are entirely at the mercy of the elements and the machine carrying you. On August 23, 2013, that reality hit home. A Super Puma helicopter carrying 18 people went down in the rough waters of the North Sea, near Sumburgh Airport in Scotland. If a helicopter hits the water, the physics are instantly against you. The heavy engines and main rotors are mounted on top. That high skip center of gravity means the aircraft will almost immediately invert and sink. For the passengers inside, the sudden rush of freezing, dark water triggers an immediate biological panic. Your spatial orientation vanishes, and your deepest instinct is to take a massive gasp of air. Yet 14 people survived the Sumburgh crash. They survived because they actively fought off their own human instincts, executing a strict survival protocol known as HUET. You can't learn that kind of control in a standard classroom. You have to go to specialized training facilities, like Suraksha Marine in Maharashtra, India's first advanced center built specifically to combat this exact disaster. They teach to the OPIDO standard, the Offshore Petroleum Industry Training Organization. If you want to work on an international rig, you have to meet this rigorous benchmark. But an OPIDO certification requires physical reprogramming. These centers use severe environmental simulation to completely overwrite your natural survival reflexes. The core of this training happens inside the dunker. It's a specialized simulator cage used to safely replicate a catastrophic inversion. Being inside when it drops is a violent experience. The cage slams into the water, fills up, and spins 180 degrees into pitch blackness. Your brain screams at you to immediately unbuckle and swim up. The first rule of HUET is to completely ignore that urge. You must choose to stay strapped into your seat. If you release that harness too early, the buoyancy of your body and survival suit drags you upward. But since the helicopter is upside down, up is actually the floor. You get pinned away from the exit windows and become completely disoriented. Staying buckled in gives you a crucial moment of physical stability, but it introduces the immediate secondary threat. You are trapped underwater with a rapidly depleting oxygen supply. This is the CAEVS, the primary emergency breathing system for offshore workers. Designed for instant deployment, you grab the yellow mouthpiece for immediate airflow, even fully submerged. However, this small green cylinder only holds enough compressed air for 60 to 90 seconds. The procedural order here is absolute. You must deploy this air supply first. You never pull the inflation cord on your life vest while inside the cabin, because inflating it will instantly pin you to the floor above you. This 60-second window is all the time you have to execute the mechanical steps of escape before you're forced to rely on a single held breath. In the pitch dark, with water rushing in, you have to combat spatial disorientation by establishing a physical reference point. You reach out and firmly grip the frame of the window. You keep that hand solidly anchored. Your other hand pushes the glass, and only then release your seatbelt. Even then, the fight is not over. You physically pull your body through a narrow window frame, dragging yourself against heavy water resistance to reach the surface. You run through these exact motions in the simulator again and again. The goal is to drill those steps so deep into your brain that they become pure muscle memory. When the terrifying reality of a crash hits and conscious thought shuts down, you survive because your body acts automatically, executing a rehearsed script. The 14 survivors pulled from the North Sea near Sumburgh didn't panic. They gripped their reference points, deployed their air, and escaped exactly as trained. As global energy needs push us into deeper, more remote waters, the number of workers facing these risks is set to climb. The global hydrogen market alone is projected to expand to $556.6 billion by 2034. This economic shift means thousands of new technicians and specialists will be commuting over open oceans to service next-generation tidal and wind operations. We can build larger turbines and more advanced rigs, but the human body remains entirely vulnerable to freezing water. The only way to bridge that gap is rigorous, standardized preparation. It is easy for new hires to view OPIDO requirements and courses, like HUET or HUET, as annoying administrative checkboxes. But they represent a form of instructional engineering. We study the exact ways human biology fails under pressure, and we build systemic methods to counter those flaws. Engineering cannot prevent every helicopter accident, but HUET provides the methodology needed to ensure that when a physical machine fails, the person inside has a proven path to the surface.